Straight ahead on 12 News, homes in high demand. What makes these homes hot sellers? Plus, the out-of-this-world idea that won't happen for a New Hope man. But first, road rage caught on video in Brooklyn Center.
It's not worth the risk that aggressive driving creates.
12 News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. As if driving in bad weather isn't bad enough, toss in a driver that has lost his temper.
The Minnesota State Patrol uses one case in Brooklyn Center to highlight the problem. As Delane Cleveland reports, aggressive driving could have dangerous and expensive consequences.
On a snowy day along I-94 near Brooklyn Center, a cluster of plows came out to clear the road. When that happens, traffic behind the plows is slow going. But this MnDOT video shows one SUV that tried to break free from the pack and sneak between two plows, only to spin out and end up in the ditch.
I mean, there's a lot of little driving maneuvers that don't need to happen.
Moments later, the car gets back on the road and does the exact same maneuver. Seconds later, the vehicle spins out again as it approaches the exit.
And that's where it really can lead to very dangerous situations, not only for them, but even the traffic around them now has to maybe make evasive maneuvers and respond to the conduct that they're very close to.
Public safety officials call it a classic case of road rage.
Maybe they're in a hurry, maybe they feel compelled to get around a slower moving vehicle and they start driving in a more aggressive manner to let that vehicle know they're irritated with how that person was driving.
Lieutenant Tiffany Nielsen says state troopers encounter cases of road rage nearly every single day.
We get a lot of crashes that result, and they're not always serious, although there's certainly the potential for that.
State troopers say road rage incidents begin with frustration, but even if the emotion overtakes you, they say it's best not to engage with the other driver.
There's risk of serious injury or death. There's risk of high-level criminal charges. There's risk of civil lawsuits. So as a matter of protecting yourself, don't engage in something that could cause that type of outcome.
Rather than engaging, she suggests people either call 911 or go to the State Patrol website to file a report of an unsafe driving incident.
And we'll follow up, investigate those claims, and that often leads to felony charges.
Charges that could easily be avoided.
In my experience, I've been to assaults, crashes that didn't need to happen, and it's because somebody chose not to back off.
Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
The State Patrol says Brooklyn Center has two areas where they receive a high volume of aggressive driving complaints: Interstate 94, where it curves into 694, and on Highway 252 at 66th Avenue.
Brooklyn Park Police have made arrests in an overnight shooting. It happened shortly after midnight Friday at the Huntington Place Apartments. Police say one person was shot multiple times. That person is expected to survive. Shortly after the shooting, a resident contacted police after finding a firearm on her property. Police believe it's the same weapon used in the shooting.
A Maple Grove woman and her ex-husband face federal charges for allegedly trying to cheat an insurance company out of $2 million. Irina Vorodinoff is accused of faking her ex-husband's death, then filing a life insurance claim. The indictment claims the ex-husband staged his death by putting his identification on the corpse of an unknown person in the tiny Eastern European country of Moldova. A tipster told the FBI that the ex-husband was alive and living in Ukraine under a new name. Court documents also say computer photos show him alive after his supposed death.
Governor Dayton is the latest voice to join local cities in calling for an environmental review of a proposed rail line connection project. In a letter to the federal agency that oversees rail construction, Governor Dayton requests a full environmental review, stating, quote, "The proposed new connection directly impacts the cities of Crystal, Robbinsdale, New Hope, Golden Valley, Plymouth, and Minneapolis because a high volume of mainline traffic would be diverted onto a lightly constructed and maintained single-track line. Concerns about the proposed connection include increased noise and possible delays of emergency vehicles, as well as exposure to North Dakota oil trains.
Road construction season is still a ways off, but planning is underway. In Robbinsdale, the city approved work this week on Halifax and Indiana Avenues. Parts of those streets will be completely reconstructed at an estimated cost of $1.8 million. Roads are showing their age in that area, but the work will go deeper than the surface. The city plans to update sewer and water lines. At the same time, the city plans to take care of a local flooding problem.
During large storm events, there are some issues with ponding down in the Windsor Court area. We're hoping to address that by installing an underground storage tank that will temporarily hold that stormwater until it can flow out at a better rate. Construction
is expected to start sometime in May.
Local West Africans are concerned about orphans created after the Ebola epidemic swept through Liberia, Guinea, and Sierra Leone. They say people were too sick to plant crops, so now there's a food shortage.
Most of the time we plant our food, and we haven't had the opportunity to do so within the three regions, Guinea, Liberia, and Sierra Leone. So the children survived, and we are not going to stand by and let them die of hunger.
The Minnesota African Task Force Against Ebola will hold a food drive for non-perishable items on Saturday at the Community Activity Center in Brooklyn Park. The items will be sent to West Africa in the coming months.
A New Hope man received some unusual news this week. Paul Larson learned he will not be getting a one-way ticket to Mars. Larson was one of more than 200,000 people who applied to be part of a private mission to colonize Mars. He made it through 2 rounds, but did not make the next cut down to 100 people. While disappointed, Larson is comforted in his new job as the planetarium director at Rochester Mayo High School.
I still have my planetarium right here, where I can continue to excite and inspire young kids to become scientists, so I can still change my little corner of the world and hopefully inspire some kids, other kids, to take on the mission to going to Mars.
All 5 Minnesotans who survived the first 2 rounds did not make it to the 3rd round. Coming up, trends in senior living. We'll show you one stop on the upcoming Spring Parade of Homes tours.
Then later in sports, goals are hard to come by in a playoff hockey match between Wayzata and Hopkins.
But first, colder than average temperatures continue through the weekend. Sunday will feel like minus 20. The Chinese New Year began this week with a bang, or at least it sounded that way in Brooklyn Center.
The whole idea of the parade and making music is that you make as much noise as you can because you are scaring away all the bad luck for the upcoming year. So only good luck follows.
It's the one time of year when students at Garden City Elementary are encouraged to make as much noise as possible. Kindergartners led a parade to cap off a study unit about the Chinese New Year. Many East Asian cultures use zodiac animals to symbolize each year, but this year's animal is up for debate.
There is some controversy. There are a lot more goats in China than sheep, and it depends upon which legend.
Plus, the word for sheep, goat, or ram is actually the same in Mandarin. In China, people will recognize the Year of the Goat, but in places like Korea and Tibet, it will be the sheep. There you go.
So there you go, that's right.
The Minnesota housing market is changing thanks to retiring baby boomers.
Many seniors want a one-level home, but with the demand so high, those homes are harder to come by. Sonia Goen shows us a unique senior housing development project in Maple Grove.
Our slogan is, if you're not 55, you'll wish you were.
Four Seasons at Rush Creek is not your typical 55-plus housing. These homes are the first so-called 50-plus resort-style homes in Minnesota.
There's a lot of 55-plus one-level living, but there's not that resort-style living where everything is right there at your fingertips.
There's more than 2,000 square feet of living space.
A minimum of 2 bedrooms on the main level. This home has a front office, and then you can see this very large open floor plan concept, which people love.
The doors and hallways are wider, which are must-have items for boomers.
Well, these entryways will accommodate a wheelchair. These are wheelchair accessible, 36 inches wide.
And there's plenty of luxury features.
The media room, and with the active adult, They really gravitate towards this concept where they can come downstairs and they can put in their favorite movie.
Normally, the builder sells 2 to 3 single-family homes a month, but they sell 5 to 6 of these resort-style homes a month.
We just decided to test it out in Minnesota, and it's just taken off.
Now, amenities are a big selling point for baby boomers. This particular builder has a lot of extras for folks who love resort-style living. Boomers would never get bored in the 13,000 plus square foot clubhouse.
We have a pool, we have tennis courts, we have pickleball courts, we have putting greens, we have exercise facilities, we have hot tubs, saunas, billiard rooms.
Resort-style senior homes are for boomers who are young at heart.
These people are living and having fun.
In Maple Grove, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
The homes run from $300,000 to $500,000. You can check them out at the Spring Parade of Homes, which starts on February 28th. Coming up, Cooper High School students shine on stage with their version of Beauty and the Beast.
But first in sports, a great playoff hockey battle between Maple Grove and Osseo. John Jacobson has the highlights next.
It's section tournament time in boys hockey. Osseo and Maple Grove played a close game late in the regular season with the Crimson winning 4-2. Round 2 was Thursday night at the Champlain Ice Forum in the Section 5AA quarterfinals. A lot of scoring early in this one. The Crimson Sam Huff with a shot on net. Jack Kelly buries the rebound, and Maple Grove is on the board 18 seconds into the game. Osseo ties it at the 2:36 mark. Mason Hodela to Ben Christofferson in front for the shot and goal. Just 36 seconds later, the Orioles strike again. Boone Almquist the shot. Anthony Fetzig bangs home the rebound, and it's 2-1 Osseo. The Crimson tied a short time later. Huff to Josh Passo with a pass and a goal. It's 4 goals in the game's first 5-11. Maple Grove would lead 3-2 after 1. Second period, and the puck here isn't covered after the save by Cal McKinney, but Eric Lyons gets to it and scores, and Osseo's in front 4-3. The Crimson tie it with a shorthanded goal. Matt Vogel steals the puck. He goes in on the breakaway and scores to make it 4-4 in the second period. It stays that way until midway through the third period, when Jared Camarada takes the pass from Joe Nordberg. Camarada backhanding the shot in, and that's the game-winning goal for Maple Grove. They win it over Osseo 5-4. The semifinals are set for Saturday in Champlain. At 3 o'clock, Centennial meets Anoka, followed by Maple Grove and Blaine. That game is at 7 o'clock at the Ice Forum. In Section 6AA, Wayzata and Hopkins met in the final game of the regular season last Saturday. The two met again in the Section 6AA quarterfinals. The goalies had to be sharp in this one. Wayzata's Alex Schilling making a stop there on Riley Martin in the first period. Hopkins goalie Josh Kumitchell was on this game as well. He'll stop Nathan Dingman here, and it's scoreless after 1. Second period, and both teams again with good scoring chances. Max Zimmer whistled a shot. Good glove save by Kumitchell to keep it 0-0. Schilling stops a shot from Matt Hines. Got to endure a little snow shower there as well. Still no score through 2. Just over a minute to go in the game, and Zimmer steals the puck at the Hopkins blue line. He'll set up Luke Patterson for a pretty goal. And this is it. That's the only goal of the night. Wayzata scores, and they move into the semifinals, winning it 1-0. Also in the 6AA quarterfinals, Armstrong-Cooper at Minnetonka. Minnetonka's Max Cavanaugh, a nice move. He'll fire a wrist shot home. And the Skippers lead 1-0, 5.5 minutes into the game. Gavin Payne overskates it, gets it to Cavanaugh, tips it to Dominic Picciano for the goal. And it's 2-0 Minnetonka after 1. Second period, Tonka up 3-0. Jack Bowman leaves it for TJ Rogers. And it's 4-0 Skippers after that one. Trey Rooney will get the wings on the board, turning the defenseman inside out. Nice goal there, but it's too little too late. Armstrong-Cooper falls 5-1. So in the semifinals Saturday, Benilde takes on top seed Eden Prairie at 4 o'clock at Braemar Ice Arena in Edina. Wayzata faces off with Minnetonka at 7:30 at Bloomington Ice Garden. In girls basketball, Osseo is playing very well down the stretch. District rival Maple Grove looking for a season sweep of the Orioles, though, as they met at Osseo. Maple Grove, nice pick and roll play as Haley Barker finds Maddie Tharp cutting for 2 plus a foul. Osseo will surge ahead. Kiara Russell behind the screen nails a 3. And Osseo goes up by 10, 26-16. But Maple Grove closes the first half strong. Mary Eckberg's 3-ball from the corner gives them a 1-point halftime lead. Second half, and Maple Grove tries to take control. Mackenzie Barta hits 3 of her team-high 22 points, and it's 47-42 Crimson. But Osseo fights back. Russell scores on a nice drive in transition, and with that hoop, she surpasses 1,000 career points. Down to the final seconds, tied at 61 all. Russell draws the defense and sets up Ari Jones for the baseline jumper for the game winner. Osseo wins 63-61, their 8th straight win. We'll have highlights from the boys game coming up Monday on Sports GM. Maple Grove beating Osseo in boys basketball.
All right, thanks a lot, John. We'll be right back. In need of a laugh, a local award-winning comedian and magician may do the trick. Robbinsdale resident David Harris performs across the Midwest. He is back home to headline a show on Saturday night at the New Hope Cinema Grill. For tickets, you can go to newhopecinemagrill.com. If you're in the mood for an enchanting story, we've got just the one for you.
It's a production of Beauty and the Beast at Cooper High School. Neil Persley has more in today's Weekend Showcase.
In 1991, when Disney released Beauty and the Beast, it became the first animated film to ever be nominated for an Academy Award. In 1994, the film was adapted for a Broadway musical. Now, Robbinsdale Cooper High School brings the characters to life for their production of Beauty and the Beast.
We've got freshmen up through seniors. Some students have been in middle school shows. Some students have never been in any shows before. My veteran seniors have been in all 4 productions and productions throughout their entire high school career here. So we meet them where they're at.
When an enchantress disguised as an old beggar offers the prince a rose in return for shelter, he arrogantly refuses. The enchantress then turns him into a beast and all of his servants into household items. To break the curse, the beast must learn to love another and earn her love in return before the last petal falls from the rose, or he will remain a beast forever. Senior Graham Rempel plays the Beast.
For these past few days, we've been here from like 1 o'clock to 7 o'clock rehearsing it. So it should pay off, though. It's going to be an amazing show.
Junior Emma Shine is absolutely outstanding, playing the consummate, beautiful Belle. Her acting is beyond her years, and her voice is simply lovely.
I plan on going into theater and going to college and doing theater, probably majoring in musical theater.
This is I even find myself going, oh. I mean, you have these moments of, oh.
The performance provides lots of humor, a great live score, and is rated GT for a good time. For Weekend Showcase, I'm Neil Persley.
Beauty and the Beast runs this weekend and next, including a show tonight, Friday night at 7. Looks like a lot of fun.
It does.
Have a great weekend, everyone. We'll see you Monday.